this with former FAA Safety Inspector David Susi. David, great to see you and Happy New
No.
Year. What a way to get things started, right? So
Yeah.
we know
No.
that, this is not good, but the NTSB is investigating the incident. We're very glad to hear that all the passengers and crew are okay. There is one minor injury, but everyone survived this, right? What sort of issues now do you believe the NTSB will be focusing in on?
Well, I think the primary issue that they're going to look at is who touched it last. That's where it's going to come down to. The plug that Pete was talking about there, who installed that last? Because as you look at those pictures, and I've looked at them very closely, it doesn't appear that there was any structural failure. It looks more like the mounting brackets that are holding that plug in or that door in are intact, which would indicate to me that there wasn't a sudden structural failure, that there was something that came loose or came off. Now, it's important to remember too that the Air Current has reported that this aircraft, the specific serial number aircraft, had some pressurization problems the day before, and the mechanics looked at it and returned it to service. So that's something that the investigation's got to go there first and see what was it that went wrong to cause the pressurization to fail the day before, and what was done to put it back in service.
So you said something interesting there. You said, who touched it last? What happened at the time of installation? So is it your feeling that no one would have touched it, maintained it since installation to the time of this incident yesterday, in the 10 weeks that it has been flying, some now 150 flights? You're zeroing in on installation, not manipulation of it in any way after installation to now.
Well, that's a great question, Fred, because it really does depend. Now, the fact that the airworthiness certificate was issued in October tells us that the aircraft was flyable. It was airworthy at the time. Now, each one of the air carriers that take delivery of these aircraft, they modify them for their own purpose. So, for example, they may put their own seats in. They may change the pitch where they have more or less seats in the aircraft. Now, if they did that, a lot of that type of work is done through this extra door as a maintenance access. So it's possible that after that certification, and I don't know that this happened, but it's very possible that that was taken off to remove and put in seats, or to change the interior configuration, add logos, things like that. So it's typically at least a week or two before that's all done, and then it goes out. So that's why I'm talking about who touched it last, who installed that door. It was obviously installed when it got its airworthiness certificate. Now, do we know if it was been taken off or put back on? That's where I would look right away to see what happened in that time period.
So now Alaska Airlines as well as United Airlines have all grounded this 737-9 MAX that they have in their fleet. What should travelers be concerned about? Because we know that, Boeing makes this. Is it expected that travelers are going to feel kind of reticent about getting on any kind of aircraft at this point, or one that is made by Boeing? What do you anticipate here?
Well, let me give myself as an example. When this happened that day, my granddaughter was flying on a completely unrelated flight from Denver to Phoenix, unescorted minor. And so she was on that airplane by herself. I can only imagine the trauma that this young man that had his shirt ripped off of him went through, and to have to sit there. I mean, they couldn't take him out of that seat and move him away from this gaping hole in the side of the airplane. He had to sit there and endure that flight all the way down. So me, as a safety professional, I'm hesitant to fly at this point, or at least for my granddaughter. So it's going to affect a lot of people and their ability to, or willingness to fly.
We're showing the video, and then earlier we showed the video and you could hear, you really could hear the wind, but you didn't hear a peep coming from any of the passengers as they were trying to descend. Really everybody was frozen, in fear. I cannot imagine what people were thinking and feeling. We haven't had a chance to hear from a lot of the passengers. We did hear from the one about what they were experiencing. But what are your thoughts, on how the crew managed this? They had to descend, as we heard in the recording, to 10,000 feet because it had been decompressurized. Everyone presumably was, in their seatbelts, which is key, right? Because if the shirt and the phone is getting sucked out, we can only imagine other things that could have happened. But what are your thoughts about those moments? What was transpiring?
Well, it says a lot for the crew and for the air traffic controllers as to how calm they stayed, and they had just handled it like any other routine thing that they would have to deal with, which is imperative when you have an emergency. It has to be responded to that way because you can make things worse as you go forward if you start panicking. So the passengers, now as far as the passengers go, they were at 16,000 feet, and it's cold at 16,000 feet. So not only were they frozen in fear, they were probably frozen as well, just in the temperature, because it would have dropped significantly and very quickly throughout that cabin. So that's one of the things that I think people have to endure. But on the same token, the fact that they stayed in their seats, it's a reminder to use that seatbelt whenever that seatbelt sign's on, and even when it's not, you need to have that seatbelt buckled. You don't want to have any time in that aircraft where you're not fastened to something, or unless you're just going up to the restroom and back. But it's a good reminder for all of us.
It really is. Thank you so much. So glad that everyone landed safely. What a frightening flight. David Susi, thank you so much.